pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the Mahoning County Commissioners Hearing Room, regular meeting number 46, Thursday, November 17th, 2022, slightly after 10. Before we get started with any public comments, we will call Todd Sardich up, and we want to honor the Boardman girls that first won the district championship 2 in the state, and with 7-6, which put them into the Ohio State tournaments in Asheville, Ohio. Todd, why don't you tell us a few things? We're going to give you the certificates for all your baseball players.
Yes.
And you want to give us a little background on everything?
Sure. Well, thanks for having us here and giving us those awards. I was one of the coaches of the 12U girls softball team at Boardman, and we actually finished one game short of the Little League World Series this year. We were district champions, state champions. We made it to the regional tournament in Indiana. We had beat Kentucky, Illinois, and we lost to Missouri. So one more game, we would have made it to the Little League World Series, and a special group of girls, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Spending time with them. So we'll have some of them back next year. And
Well,
was,
next year tops, right?
yeah, let's hope. Yeah.
And we
yeah.
wanted to give these to you. You guys want to come up and we'll present? I want to give these to you, and you could present them to all the
Definitely.
young women. I call
Definitely.
them.
Thank you so
And wish
much.
you the best of luck.
Thank
God
you so
bless
much.
you.
Thanks for having
Have a
us.
Great holidays.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's fantastic.
All right.
It was fun.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any public comments? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go forward. Approval of the previous minutes of board meeting number 45, Thursday, November 10, 2022, and approval of bills for payment. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve bills for payment. Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes. Journal entries number 1, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve journal entries.
Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes. Number 2, agreements, recycling. Lou?
Morning, Commissioners. How are you? These are just agreements with these respective communities for the drop-off lease agreements to host them for the residents.
Okay, thank you. B and C sanitary. Tara,
We're not talking to you, Tara.
I'm letting you know I'll be down next Tuesday for your meeting. I won't leave without saying goodbye.
I told Aaron Bishop, no way.
We called and gave you a terrible recommendation.
She made
Oh,
she
never.
made some enemies. I will talk to you
She's
all
on-
soon.
She's on our bad list too.
So letter B is a modification. This is number 5 with LJB Inc. to provide additional professional engineering services for our Deal Lake wastewater treatment plant improvement project number 526. And this is in the amount of $15,000 non-general. Letter C is an agreement with Alcon Mechanical Inc. for heat trace and insulation services at Damascus wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $4,030, also non-general.
Okay, thank you, Tara. Number 2, agreements A through C. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve agreements.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes. Number 3, road closings. A, engineering. Rick.
Good morning, Commissioner. This is proposed new road between Raccoon Road and Route 46 on November 23rd and November 25th for a tree removal.
Okay.
No way.
Right in front of your house, too. Shut it down.
Number 3, road closings A. Do I hear a motion?
David?
I have to move.
Motion to approve resolution.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante.
yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati.
Yes. Number one, resolutions additions. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions additions.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante.
yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati.
Yes. Number two, resolutions. A, Commissioners O and B. Audrey?
Commissioners, this is a resolution approving the 2023 non-general fund appropriation resolution.
Okay. B, C, D, Jobs and Family Services. Audrey?
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Audrey, Nancy, and good morning, Jim. Letter B, Job and Family Services Resolution approving the appointment of one investigator for the department. C, Job and Family Services Resolution approving the appointment of one investigator two for the department. D, Job and Family Services Resolution approving the inter-county agreement with Monroe County and accepts the inter-county transfer budget request to release $60,000 in TANF admin to Monroe County. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. E, Sheriff's Department.
Good
John?
morning, everyone. These are all grants. E is a resolution to amend the resolution 22-04-047 and accept the final award for the fiscal year 2022, the ARPA Law Enforcement Violence Reduction and Staffing Grant, the amount of $1,385,705.77. F is a grant, also a resolution in support of an applications to the Ohio Department of Public Safety for the following grants in the amount with no local match required. Our IDEP grant for $37,110.67 and the STEP grant for $46,275.16. G is a resolution in support of the application to the Attorney General's for law enforcement diversion program to implement the quick response team in the amount of $93,000 with no local match. And H is a resolution in support of an application to the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections for capital improvements in the amount of $1,684,434 through House Bill 687.
Okay.
Well, that's the most you've ever had to do.
Yeah, I know.
Surprised you didn't send your son to do it.
I was gonna do that.
And you know what? I commend you, your staff, and the sheriff for this. These are all grants
Grants, yeah.
going to the Sheriff's Department,
Thank you.
more so than ever, I've noticed. So congratulations on that.
Great job.
You do a great, yes, you do. Number two, resolutions A through H. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante.
yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati.
Yes, so that concludes the business portion of our meeting. And Marty, you have anything for us?
I can.
Okay,
We can
good.
talk about it.
I'm getting to Dwayne too,
Okay.
so it'll be both you tag team each other. Marty, you want to go first, or Dwayne, do you want to go first?
Go ahead. I don't know what you want me to talk about.
My topic's hard to follow, but I just wanted to bring us, commissioners up to all the progress we're making on the Suicide Fatality Review Committee and what's happening. Right now, just to update you, between January and October, we've had 36 people take their lives in Mahoning County, which is a tragedy. It's a little ahead of it'll be a little ahead of last year, unfortunately. But I think the significant thing, and Lee's gonna talk a little bit about some groups we put together, but 85% of the people that took their lives are men. And of those, 50% are over 50. So we're seeing a trend here that it's older men taking their lives. So, the thing you gotta remember about suicide, it's not about dying, it's about stopping pain. And that's what it's all about. So it's our job, to reach out to these people. I think some good things are happening in Mahoning County. The commissioners have few months ago, asked Ryan Teacat from the Health Department and myself to form a suicide fatality review committee, which we formed. We're actually doing something called suicide review autopsies, I think they're called, where we actually take some cases, we review them and see if there was something that we could have done and reached out and maybe provided some support. So that's in place, and Lee's gonna talk a bit about the loss team, which is really gonna be a tremendous help for the area. The other thing I want to mention is some of the reasons people have taken their lives is they talk about, they're in chronic pain, but they're also in financial distress. And one of the things I wanted to promote today is that the commissioners, through Catholic Charities and MyCap, have provided money for rental assistance, for utility assistance, for back months rent, for a lot of things. So people need to know to reach out to them, and those agencies are available as well as 211. But I think the thing you do when somebody calls, you might not always be able to help them with that problem, but if you talk to them, you might be able to help them with something else. So, there's, to be in that much pain, to want to end your life, it's our job to reach out and to try to make people see there's help out there. And 36, one life's too many, 36 is awful. So, we're coming out of the pandemic. We don't know what that did to people being locked up all that time. We know in the recovery community, it was extremely hard because they couldn't get together for fellowship. They're isolated. I always say it's the perfect storm. When someone's depressed, you tell them to go out, be around people. During the pandemic, you told them go home, be isolated, don't go around people. So I think we're seeing the effects of that, but again, because of the programs you put in place and the suicide fatality review committee. Lee, do you want to talk a bit about the loss team?
Yeah, just to touch on the fatality.
He's not my grandson, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You beat him to the
Dave thought he
punch.
was.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just to touch on what Dwayne said about the Fatality Review Committee, our board, the Health Department, and the Coroner's Office have really partnered and are working together to see if we can identify some of the trends. Like with Dwayne saying, we're seeing a lot of middle-aged males who are completing suicide. So we're trying to find some ways to identify how to prevent future suicides for that population, since we have such a high, we're seeing a lot of men over 40, over 50. I think we had 7 suicide deaths that were over 75. So a lot of seniors. So what we've done, we're trying to work on, a few months ago, we targeted putting ads in the high school football programs. So, a lot of guys get the schedules to see what schools, and then we put some ads for calling 988 and to connect with service providers so that they can, reach out if they do need help. The other thing Dwayne mentioned, the loss team. So our loss team is, we developed a few months ago with suicide survivors to go out. We have 17 members right now, and they're volunteers who are working to go out when we get calls from the coroner's office of a suicide death. If they are asking for support, we send out some of our volunteers who've experienced family members or loved ones who died from suicide, and they go out and provide some comfort and some support services for those families to kind of give them at least a direction of where to go, who to call, just to kind of be there as a support. And
Because what we want is, we don't want anyone in Mahoning County to be alone. We're blessed, the coroner's working with us. They're calling us. If they go to a house, there's all kind of family support around. Aren't needed. If they go to a house and someone's alone, or the family's out of town, or the husband's working out of town, coroner will call, the volunteer will go. They're not professionals, they're not counselors. They're go to offer a warm hand, to make a phone call a family member, make a pot of coffee, just be there until family can come around, because we don't, and in fact, Mahoning County, we're going a loss team and a DOS team. We're going to start with the suicide. We're going to expand to people who have lost because of drug overdoses, and we'll be going out in those neighborhoods. But I can't thank you guys for setting up the fatality review committee, but the health department's working close with us, and the coroner's been great. They're jumping right in and providing us support, so it's good.
When we met with Dr. Kennedy yesterday, and he was telling us that there's, I think his number was 3 a week in drug overdoses. Deaths from drug overdoses, and it's, it's sad.
yeah, right now, I think it's over 150 people from Mahoning County who died from drug overdose.
And I called, and you're a 24/7 department. I gotta say that I could attest to that.
Well,
And a
I'm never
weekend.
24 hours. I'm 24 hours for you guys.
I mean, I call you on the weekend at 7 at night and it's taken care of within a couple hours. I appreciate that, and so do the people. Because you know what? Some don't have anywhere to go. And they're just lost.
But we were amazed. We put the notice in the paper and the TV stations ran the story, and we had 18 people willing, and a lot of them are survivors. They've lost children and spouses to suicide or overdoses, but they're coming out, they're willing to go out. And the people that don't want to go out, and I understand that, they're still going to help with making phone calls. They're going to send cards to people. They're going to follow up. So there's a place for everybody. So everybody can help, but we're starting with the suicides and we're going to move into the overdoses because there's so many. Take it slow.
And you need to be, the media, and I'm gonna say that to whether it's the print or the TV, needs to be on this at least every month, making people aware of what's out there to help them. You know, you come here today and it's gonna be on TV or in the newspaper, and then for months it's nowhere around. Even though we know that we have that resource, it needs to be constantly at the media's attention for this one reason. Because the more people see that there's help, that it's okay to have an issue, it's okay to have a mental illness or a drug thing that you need help with, to get help. I mean, I just think the more you hear it, the more it becomes part of reality to
You know,
life.
we're lucky. The media, both three stations and the Indicator, whenever they do a story, they always put 988 or 211 number there. Because if somebody reads about a suicide, it could trigger something and it could cause another one.
Right.
So whenever they do a story, they always put it in there, and that's what we've asked them to do. So that's good, because you never know what somebody reading something. But again, like I said, people are in a very dark place to take their lives because nobody wants to die. And then, so anyway, again, these aren't good numbers, but we have progress, we're working on some
Yeah,
things.
I think the important thing, and with the commissioners you've mentioned before, is our agencies and we all partner well together. So that's always the easy part, you know, getting the information out, reducing the stigma on mental health. You know, that's what we have to continue to work on. But our partners and the agencies, everyone works well together. Coroner's team, the health department. So that's the, you know, that's a benefit for us because we work well
In
together.
between 211, I just want to highlight my cap and Community Catholic Charities have dollars from you all to help people. So nobody has to be in a situation where they don't think there's anywhere to turn. And so that's very important.
Well, thank you. Collaboration is with the answer to it all of us. Thank you. Martin?
You know, and you were right, I should have went first. But no, to be truthful with you, the commissioners had the foresight to ask somebody from the building trades to go on to Dwayne's board because a disproportionate number of folks with addiction or taking their lives are construction workers. So to be able to put a person from the building trades on that board helps all the general trades in the skilled trades in the valley. So thanks for being able to do that and the foresight to be able to do that, because I think it helps hand in hand throughout what we're trying to accomplish here in the county. Secondly, we had our Port Authority meeting yesterday. We're really looking up. The economic development side is just going crazy right now. Hired another person to kind of help out with some of those things. Anthony and the team down there are just doing a great job, and you know, appreciate all the help from the commissioners that you give us over the years. So
Thank you, Marty. Thank
is there anything
you.
you want else you
Great.
want me
I'd
to?
like to ask you a question after the meeting if you.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Anthony, Dave, do you have anything? You good?
I'm good.
Okay, so with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes, next meeting will be Tuesday, November 22nd at 10 a.m.